Welcome to Electric Evolution with Liz Allan. This podcast explores the transition to net zero and the systems driving real change in how we move, live and power our world. Every week I sit down with the people leading that change, those offering insight, innovation and impact in many ways people don't fully see until they hear their stories. If you're ready for real conversations that inspire action and drive change, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey. And let's cut through the noise and build a better future together. Hi everyone and welcome to the Christmas episode of Electric Evolution. We should be wearing hats really, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we're not going to though.
We're not going to wear that. We're not going to wear hats. So this week I'm going to introduce you properly to Michele Liddle. It's only the second time she's ever been on this podcast, but we've been working together for over 4 years now. So it's about time really, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been waiting for my debut for four and a half years almost, yeah.
Well, you kind of were on one before, weren't you? But yeah, that's sort of a long time ago. So this is important really to kind of introduce Michele. So I'm just going to say that Michele and I have worked in full circle continuous improvement for four and a half-ish years now, haven't we?
Yeah, I think it's like 4 years, 3 months, 6 hours, and I don't know how many hours.
And this is why we get on.
Yeah,
and this is why we get on. And the irony is that it's bizarre that we've only met face to face a handful of times over that 4.5 years, because I live in Reading and Michele lives up in Northumberland.
Yeah, I think it's like 4 times we've met in person.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I should probably address the fact that I don't usually sound like this.
That's very true. So Michele at the moment is a little bit poorly sick, aren't you?
Yeah, she's
been a bit poorly sick for a few days.
Yeah, flu, COVID, cold, I don't know what we call it these days, but I've just been ill.
Let's start, because I haven't even said what your title is really. You've kind of got 2 titles. And there's a title of our new business. So maybe I should introduce you as the marketing director of ChargeWise CX.
I am, yeah. Woo. I feel like we should have some sound effects. Clapping, celebrate.
So I'm going to introduce you as that. So let us though, because that's people are going to be going, what's that all about?
Yeah.
But before we go into that, let's talk a little bit about you, because there's more to Michele than meets the eye. There are things that she does on a weekend that you might not know about, etc.
Yeah.
Come on, let's talk a little bit how what you do for Full Circle, what you have done like during your career, and kind of, yeah, I really do think we need to introduce what you do on the weekend as well.
Yeah, what I do for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a bit weird. Yeah, where do you want to start? At the very beginning, the day I was born.
Very nice place to start. Oh my
That's one of my favourite movies, that.
Doe a deer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Sometimes I have no idea. Like,
boom, boom.
you got to put some Christmas jokes in. Really bad ones.
Oh God, that's like a Neil Riddle joke, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I still don't know who he is.
Oh, stop it. Oh, look. We're going to go off in this direction already, aren't we? There is a story, everybody, about me and my really bad memory. Neil, if you're listening now, or any of the Power team, any of the Power Rangers, you are going to be laughing because of the fact that I kept forgetting that they had met, and I kept going, so have you two met? And then they just took the total mickey out of me for ages. So now that's what she always said.
It was quite bad. Day one of the EV rally, wasn't it? That every stop point that we got to, me and Neil would be like, hi, I'm Michele. Hi, I'm Neil. Never met you before. It just got a bit silly. So now there's an ongoing joke that anytime somebody mentions Neil and I'm involved in the conversation, I just say, don't know who he is. Never met him.
Yeah, that's all because of me and my really terrible memory.
But
Look,
I have
it
met
just shows
him,
I like.
and he's a fabulous man.
He is.
We
He is.
appreciate Neil.
And it just shows that I like to introduce people, but I just tend
Yeah.
to do it more than what normal people would do.
Yeah,
So,
you're definitely more a people person than I am. That's why I'm the background lady, because I'm not that into the people.
I would, I'm going to disagree there.
Yeah, I know.
So, so before we talk about exactly what she does, I'll tell you a little story. Last year, so 2024, so March 2024 was the first time you ever came down here, wasn't it? So down to Reading, and
Yeah.
we went to Everything Electric over at the Excel. You're not the best traveller, so you weren't very well
Really,
when
I'm
you got
not.
down here. So I had to pay Nurse Liz, didn't
Yeah.
I? When
You're
you
a
were
very
here.
good, very good nurse.
Yes, thank you. But we went to Everything Electric the following day, and you were actually we just launched we relaunched the Full Circle website, haven't we?
Yeah.
Then, so we had a whole day here for you to recover, and I was feeding you all sorts of wellness things, wasn't
Yeah.
I? Well, you go, please
Yeah.
have this, feel better soon. go
I
to
was
sleep."
so ill that I didn't actually care what you were giving me. I was just like, just give me everything.
Exactly. But then, so the day after, we went to Everything Electric over at the Excel, and I am such a big fan of Robert Llewellyn.
Mm.
I'd wanted to get Robert on the podcast since we started, and I was so nervous about even discussing it. And I think maybe I'd tried and sort of failed once. And we were just wandering around. I think we were getting ready to leave, weren't we? And it was getting quiet at the end of the day.
We just bumped into Kate, hadn't we? Kate Tyrrell.
Kate Tyrrell. So yeah. And then Robert walked past. You can tell them the rest.
I only say it as like Liz malfunctioned. Like I've never seen a human malfunction. It was just like Liz had forgotten how to do anything other than just go.
I can't speak.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was the noise you made, but it was just like a. So I had to like save the day and jump in front of Liz and be like, "We've been trying to get you on the podcast. Do you want to come on?" And he probably thought, like, "Who is she? Where did she come from?"
She was literally like Mr. Ben and popped up from behind me.
Yeah, like,
Michelle to the rescue.
yeah. Da-da-da-da.
I just couldn't get my words out. I just went,
Yeah.
and you just saved the date. So for those of you who, yeah, if you've been listening for a while, you've probably heard the episode. I think it was like episode 90.
It was
a
in the
long time
90s,
ago.
yeah.
And but yeah, just to kind of get Robert on was such
Yeah.
an amazing feat. So thank you,
Yeah.
darling. Honestly,
It was the same day that I managed to wangle our 100th guest as well, which
We
I'm
won't
pretty
talk
sure I
about him,
blackmailed.
will we? Yeah. We won't talk about him, will we? Because he didn't even talk about us to anybody. If you're
Naughty.
watching or listening, Johnny Berry,
Yeah.
we know you are. We know where you are.
Naughty. Naughty, naughty. He's on the Santa's naughty list. I've put him there myself.
Exactly. You know, just because he works with the other four doesn't mean
I'm
that
like
he
the
can't
electric
work with-
evolution elf. That's what I'm going to call myself from now on.
Oh, you were brilliant, honestly. So, right, let's talk about then what we've been doing together. I mean, so you've kind of been involved in creative stuff for some time now, haven't you? That's really how we met. It was kind of when I was sort of realizing that as a small business, you can't do everything. You know, I've met kind of Chris Hunter, who was helping write some of the content for our social media, but neither myself or Chris wasn't the kind of the creative imagery side, you know.
Yeah, he's the creative word side.
He's very much a wordsmith. I always say that about Chris.
He's a
But
modern
you're
day
very
Shakespeare.
different. He is very Shakespearean, isn't he?
Yeah. Probably better, I'd say. Chris, you can pay me later.
But you've always been the kind of the images side and kind of like the pulling all of our socials and things like that together, haven't you? But
I think that's one of my gifts, maybe.
Yeah, when did you get into that? What was sort of like, what kind of drew you to that originally?
So I've never really been academic, and now I know why. Because I have this year, which you've been part of my journey as well. You've helped me with this. Well, we've kind of helped each other with this, really, because we've both been in it. Being diagnosed as ADHD, is that how you say it? Yeah.
ADHD.
Yeah. So
well, we didn't know this, did we?
No.
We didn't know when we first started working together.
No.
We were.
I mean, the signs were all there, but we didn't know. The signs were quite...
Yeah. People don't know what the signs are, do they?
No.
It's like,
well, we didn't know what the signs were at that point.
I know.
Now we can pick you out of a lineup. If there is such a thing. Yeah.
You're that, and you're that, and you're those. Yeah. And people.
Disclaimer: we aren't actual doctors, but.
Yeah, please. Hashtag.
Yeah, but we do know. Yeah. So I was diagnosed with ADHD and autism this year, so that's been a wild ride. But it makes so much sense because I had no interest in maths, English, science, none of those. It was always to do with art or anything like creative that I could do, especially like hands-on stuff, like even woodwork I loved at school because it was something like getting nothing and creating something. So that's always been, that's always been my thing. I remember at GCSE I did, we called it resistant materials, but it basically was woodwork. So I did that, and I remember that I came up with this design for a triangle shelf, like a triangle shelving unit. And I remember him saying to me, like, the mathematics of it won't work. It will just fall over. And I was determined to make that thing so it would stand up straight. And I did it, and it worked, and it stood up perfectly straight. And I was like, see, you just need a vision.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that was kind of what I've always been passionate about, drawing, art, that kind of stuff. I spend a lot of my spare time doing creative projects. As we know, miniature painting seems to be the new thing that I've accidentally got into, thanks to my husband. It's great. His hobby has now become my hobby somehow, and I'm not that impressed about it.
That's kind of like little figurines, isn't it?
Yeah, like little figurines. So he plays like these little tabletop games that some of them are so small that you can't even see their faces. But apparently you have to like see their face and paint it. But this seems to be my new little thing that I get involved in just because it's a creative thing and I've been drawn into painting. But yeah, anything creative I've always been into. But I think we found each other, it must have been fate because you found me in a Facebook group where I hadn't been a member of for God knows how long. And I was in there as a virtual assistant. So in 2018, I set up a virtual assistant business because I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to kind of push myself and do creative things for other entrepreneurs. And then Liz had sent me an email and I was like, where does she find me? Because I haven't been advertising for like ages. Because I was kind of working for other people. And then I wasn't really like pushing myself or anything. So I was like, oh, well, I'll have a call with her and see. And I remember on the call, I was talking to you about something and I said, oh, full circle. And you like made a funny face. And I was like, why is she putting a weird face? And you went, you do know that's the name of my business? Because I didn't even know that about you. And I was like, oh, no. I just, obviously it said full circle. And you were like, oh, it's a sign. And then I started doing some, it was just like the odd hour here and there to start with, wasn't it?
Just a few hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we started to increase the hours because we got on so well and we were doing loads of different things. And then I became like a full-time member of staff. And now we have created a business together.
We have a second business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So yeah, it's been a bit of a ride, hasn't it?
It's been a wild ride.
God, especially this year. I mean, like you say, with you getting the kind of both diagnosis in a year, that's a hard one, because I mean, even just, for me getting the ADHD diagnosis, what was it? Must be nearly 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
You know, at the age of 54, that, I'm 57 now, and actually that was a bit like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Even though I wanted it, it's still one of those hard things to kind of deal with, because you go through that level of grief, don't you?
Yeah.
Kind of, oh my God, what would have happened if I'd have known this before, or somebody else would have actually known this, and I wouldn't have beaten myself up about that, and blah blah blah. Because you found that because you can't get an ADHD, as they call it. So autism and ADHD together are called AUDHD, as Michele said, but we call it ADHD. You can't get them in one, because NHS won't. They can't. It's not seen as one condition. It's kind of two separate ones. So you have to. It's like a bit of a bolt on, isn't it? You have that and then that.
Because it was from my ADHD diagnosis that they said you need to have a diagnosis for autism. And I'd been on the waiting list for the ADHD one for 2 years, almost, maybe 3 years.
Time. I think it was 3 years, wasn't it?
And then, so you get that out of the way, you go through that whole grieving process of like, what would my childhood have been like if somebody had noticed? Like, I wasn't naughty. I was naughty at school, but it wasn't like me being naughty on purpose. It was because I literally had no interest, because nobody was sitting there to like pique my interest in the subject, or like, tell me a different way of learning it, maybe. So you go through all of that, and then you have to go on another waiting list, wait another 6 months to then get another diagnosis. And in between that, they were chucking a load of medication at me that didn't work. So I had like 3 different lots of medication, which were giving me like ups and downs, not on just a psychological level, but it was also like a body chemical level that was causing all sorts of issues. So it's been
getting high blood pressure, weren't you?
Which I still have high blood pressure. I've been on medication for that, which is, well, it's marvellous, because I no longer feel like my heart's going to jump out of my body at some point. But I didn't even notice that. I mean, that's probably a good thing that's came from that, because I don't have as many headaches as I used to have, and that kind of thing.
You did have quite a lot.
I was just getting really bad migraines and stuff, but touch wood, since the blood pressure tablets have came on board, I haven't really had any. So possibly related, possibly not, who knows? But
moving on from that, sort of coming out the other side of that diagnosis, because you end up going down a bit of a well, don't you? Kind of, it sort of feels like a bit like, oh my God, what does this mean? And that you've been down through 2 wells in a year, in a year, really, haven't you? And I saw it and I felt it, because, and that's what I'd say about working together so closely. Even though we don't live close together, we do talk, a lot,
all the time.
Don't we? We talk a lot. When we get on, we talk a lot. She says she doesn't like people, but me and her talk a lot.
Yeah.
Like, my husband.
I do. Like, maybe I'm saying I don't like people. That's probably a bit extreme, isn't it? But I am someone who does like people, but I like being in my own energy. I like being in my own space. I noticed, like, if we do go to big events, and this is probably what a lot of people in my situation feel like, is when you go to big events, you get really hyperactive, because you're like buzzing to be there, and there's a lot going on, and it's a bit of like a sensory overload, and you're like, ooh, shiny objects. And then afterwards you take about 2 weeks to recover, because you've just used so much energy to keep yourself going while you're there. But I did enjoy it.
In a battery, like a clockwork toy. But I used to have. Oh my God! I remember when I was a kid. Sorry, I'm going off on a spicy tangent now. But I remember when I was a kid, I had a wind-up record player, and I remember overwinding it, and it just went, and that's what we feel like inside. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel like, And you're right. It's kind of like you expend twice the amount of energy, or seem to expend twice the amount of energy as anybody else.
Yeah.
And it just, when you get to the end, you're like, deflated and shattered and just need to be in a darkened room with the, kind of just in a corner or something for a while.
With the duvet over your head and no interruptions,
kind of
noise cancelling headphones, and
it's hard. It's hard. People don't always realise that that's how much it hits you. But I mean, like, what is it now? So just over a year and a bit ago, to say that she's said about not liking people, but she also set up a podcast.
I have, yeah.
You talk to people, so talk about Shell's spooky stories, because that is your podcast, and it started by doing one thing, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then you've kind of moved it to do slightly different things.
Our
lovely podcast producer Tom, who we
love Tom
with,
he's
brilliant.
Yeah, we love Tom. So October last year, I set up a podcast around my interest, my weekend job. Yeah. I like to keep myself busy because Liz doesn't keep me busy enough, apparently. But so I like to keep myself busy. Basically, since I was little, I've always had an interest in the spookier side of the world. Witches, goblins, monsters, all of that. I was one of those kids that watched Ghostbusters, Scooby-Doo, and, all of that. That if it was a mystery, I was in. If it was a ghost, I was in. Casper the Friendly Ghost. When I was a teenager, the Craft movie came out, and it was just... Yeah. I just love all that kind of stuff. So when I basically moved up here, and Liz was actually a catalyst to this as well, because she was like, just go out, meet some people. Liz is always pushing me to meet people.
Sorry about that.
Me who doesn't like to be...
Where you moved from, so because where you lived originally, so where you're from, because you've not got the accent from where you are.
No, I'm not sure I've got much of an accent today, other than maybe Kermit the Frog. I don't know if that's... is that an accent? So I'm originally from Norfolk. I used to live sort of 5 miles out from Norwich. Met my husband, who was in the military. He was in the Royal Air Force. We then got based at RAF Marham for pretty much from 2013 to 2021. We were there. He then got posted to Fylingdales in North Yorkshire, which was quite hard because I was in Norfolk for a while he was working in North Yorkshire, because Ethan, my stepson, who lives with us, he was doing his GCSEs, so we couldn't move because he had to get his GCSEs done. So we spent a lot of time apart. And then basically once the GCSEs were done in the June 2021, we then moved to Northumberland to live with my husband's parents while he was at that's a whole nother podcast story.
Face there, didn't I?
Yeah.
People who were listening wouldn't know what that was. I pulled a little face.
Yeah. Just imagine living with your in-laws for 2 years.
No, thank you. But no, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Anne and Dave, if you're listening.
I do get on with my in-laws, I will say that. It's just when you live with each other, it's very different. Especially when your husband's not there to, bounce off, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's just a very weird dynamic. Anyway, that's probably a whole episode in itself. Maybe with a therapist or something.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. So that was a bit better because he was then coming home sort of every other weekend, because he was only 2 hours down the road rather than 5 hours down the road. And then he retired last year, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, last year. So he retired and is still retired now. And we ended up buying our first house together. Yeah. He might stay retired, he might not. It's still up in the air. If anyone's looking for anyone. Yeah. So we then bought our first house together, and that was, in Amble. If anyone likes seaside villages, Amble in Northumberland is a lovely place. Come say hi. I'll meet you for about 5 minutes and then I'll disappear because I'll be peopled out. I'll come say hi and then I'll just disappear.
That's kind of what happened the very first time, wasn't it, that we met?
Oh, the first time we met each other was disastrous.
Oh, it was
like the great flood of England, Northumberland. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
We saw each other for about 45 minutes or something?
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a hilarious 45 minutes.
My son was there as well.
Yeah,
And
James
got
was
so
there.
wet. Yeah.
We got soaked because it was just constant rain.
It was torrential.
We booked a table at a restaurant, but we're like 2 hours late, so they'd closed. We then couldn't get any food. It was, couldn't find the place that you were staying in. Had to flag down many people, traipse through mud. It was an experience.
The shoes I had were never the same again.
No, mine weren't either. No, mine weren't either.
God.
I'm pretty sure I was wearing white trainers that are now black. It was a funny experience, yeah.
I've got a photo of the three of us looking like drowned rats in the car in the dark.
Yeah.
I think we'd not.
That was literally under street light, wasn't it?
Oh, it was horrendous. It was horrendous. It comes up on my Google device every now and again, and I just laugh.
Yeah.
So yes.
That's all we could do is laugh about it, because if not, we'd probably cry. It was one of those situations. It was hilarious, though. I don't think we could have met in person for the first time without it being some kind of weird adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
Because every time we've met since has been a weird adventure as well.
It just has been a weird adventure. Oh my God.
Definitely.
So moving to Amble then.
Yes.
What's happened since moving to Amble? Because you said I do remember saying go out and meet people, because I had exactly the same when I moved down the south. You know, just trying to find people. I think when somebody goes to university, and neither of us went to uni, so sorry anybody, but we didn't, but not everybody does. And when you go to uni, you get a chance to meet people, but when you move somewhere and you're older, then that is a little bit more challenging, especially when you're neurospicy, as I call us. Yeah.
Which is weird, because I think if we both went to university now, we'd probably really excel.
Oh God, I think you're right.
Yeah, which is really bizarre, isn't it?
Well, listening to James talk about biological sciences and the stuff that he's doing, I was like, oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd really like doing that.
I think we both know that I'd go down the forensic crime scene route.
You would.
Yeah.
Yeah. And James is starting forensic science in January.
I'm so jealous. I'm going to be pestering him on WhatsApp.
I know. Oh, yeah, because James does some of our kind of data stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Come on.
Yeah.
So you went out.
Yeah, I went. Yeah. Well, basically, what happened first of all was I had to try and think, like, where am I going to find people that have the same interest as me? Because it is quite a unique interest. Not many people are into it.
What, into kind of spooky stuff?
Yeah. So I happened to go on Facebook, and I think it was the same day, wasn't it, that we'd had this conversation. And there happened to be a paranormal investigation evening happening in Amble at the local antique shop. And I was like, I'll go along, see what it's like. Worst case scenario, I don't like it and I come home because it's only 5 minutes away. But what happened was that I went, thoroughly enjoyed it, and then they asked me to be on their team. So since then, I have been a weekend paranormal investigator, which started the podcast because I wanted to kind of speak to... I mean, I love a ghost story. Ghost stories are good all year round, if you ask me, especially this time of year, because Christmas... A lot of people know this, but Halloween, we always associate with ghost stories, but the ghost stories are actually more of a Christmas thing than they are and I think it's in the Netherlands or Norway, one of those countries. I apologise if I've got it wrong. But they actually gift on, I think it's Christmas Eve, they gift ghost stories or a book to one another, and they spend the whole evening on Christmas Eve reading ghost stories.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. You see, right, that that I'm a little bit of a wimp when it comes to spooky stuff. So
Yeah.
I can only watch certain numbers of your podcast, can't I?
Yeah.
Which is terrible, isn't it? Because
You're
I'm
like a
just like,
50-50 fan.
I'm just. There's certain things I'm kind of okay with, but some of them I'm like, oh no, I can't.
Yeah. So the stories I've done to start with were probably a little bit too scary for you.
They were.
But now
yeah.
I do the interviews, they're not as bad. Because that's
So
people's personal experience.
I was going to say, so you started by writing stories, didn't you?
Yeah.
You'd written a story originally, hadn't you? Kind of was it ages ago? You'd written kind of like a spooky story or stories a few years back.
Yeah. I like to... My mum always said to me, like, you need to be a storyteller and tell stories. So I think it was also her passing away that started this whole journey of the paranormal and kind of the ghost story side. So I'd always like written these little stories. Last year on my 40th birthday, I actually published a book, which is a ghost story. It's kind of got witches in it as well, folklore, based in the Highlands in Scotland in 1970. But it is based around like my family, our heritage, because we've got quite a big Celtic heritage. It's got my mum in it, it's got me in it, it's got my great grandmother in it. So that was one of the things that I keep myself busy, don't I? Like writing stories, going on ghost hunts, working with Liz, avoiding people, all of these things take a lot of time and dedication.
and energy out of your love.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Energy.
But I wouldn't have it any other way. So yeah, I started telling off ghost stories that some I'd written, some were ones like, there's one, the Black Eyed Children, that's done quite well, which is actually like a paranormal folklore thing. But now what I've realised, because we used to do like one interview, then a story, then an interview, then a story. But I found that with the interviews, I was actually getting more into it because it was people's own experiences. And now our kind of tagline is that every haunting has a heartbeat, whether it be the person that tells the story and experienced the haunting or whatever, or it's somebody telling a story about a spirit that used to be a person, a woman that used to live in a castle. Like, what was her life? Why was she there? Why does she haunt the place still? What's the legend? We go into a bit of a CSI kind of haunting breakdown. So yeah, that's kind of what I do at the weekends.
So she's got a mixed bag of things that she does, haven't you? You do so many different things. So I was going to say, so doing all of the paranormal stuff is very different to what we do, isn't it? It kind of, it's not quite complementary even. It's just very different. But I mean, you're into, the paranormal stuff is your passion, really, isn't it? The kind of the stuff that we do with Full Circle is probably, it's just a bog standard working every day, but it still involves that creative side, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think what I like about the work we do is probably that it grounds me, because if not, I'd be away with the fairies pretty much 24/7. I don't think that's healthy.
So go on, tell how does it ground you? What does it do?
Well, I think it just brings me more into this world than like the other world that I spend a lot of time in. I think that a lot of people have things that they're interested in that aren't their work, isn't it? Like, you've got stuff you're interested in that isn't work. Everyone has. They all have hobbies. I mean, loads of us would love our hobbies to like be our full-time job. But I also think that if it is your full-time job, it then loses like a lot of its appeal.
Yeah.
I mean, you've said this about when you used to make cakes. Used to love making cakes. The minute it became a job, it kind of sucks the fun out of it.
It does, and I only ever make like 2 cakes a year now because it just did my head in.
Yeah.
Doing it as a business for 4 years was like, oh my God.
And I don't think ghosts are going to pay me to talk to them.
Say again?
Ghosts won't pay me to talk to them.
No, it's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, unless they've got really rich relatives and they're kind of, they're around and can talk to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't got, what are they called? Marley and Jacob. Jacob Marley. Yeah.
Oh, Marley and Marley.
Yeah.
I
love that.
I always just think of Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I do.
When
I had this with Christmas Cracker. It said how many ghosts are in the Christmas Carol. And I went down the Disney Christmas Carol, so I put Jacob and Marley as 2 people, like Marley and Marley. And I was like, Jacob Marley's 1 person, isn't it, in the Christmas Carol? But I was thinking of the Disney version where it was 2 ghosts. Yeah.
Well, but it's 2 ghosts in the Muppet Christmas Carol as well, because they've got the 2, the 2 guys.
Yeah, that's the one that I was thinking of, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Because it's the two
yeah. I just call it Muppets.
The 2 old men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones, was it, oh God.
I don't know what their actual names are.
I think they're called Randall and Waldorf or something like that. Yeah, the ones always.
If anyone knows, put it in the comments, let us know, please.
Do that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so all of the creative side and all of the kind of the structure for our social media stuff, and we have been a bit quiet lately. Other than the podcast, we've been quite quiet on the Full Circle side, haven't we?
Yeah.
Because of the fact that
we've been busy.
We're trying, what we're trying to do that's a bit different now, because I suppose if we think about the lessons learned for 2025, we've had a lot business-wise, haven't we? So what would you say is our biggest lesson learned this year for us, between us and Full Circle?
I would say not to have expectations.
What? Because we were expecting certain things to happen this year, weren't we? And we've ended up not having to pivot. We've just ended up realising that it was important to kind of pivot in another direction. Yeah.
I don't think at the beginning of 2025 we would have thought, 1, that we would have started another business, 2, that we would have started business together, and 3, that it would be in the area that it is.
Yeah, I don't think we'd have actually thought that we were going to set up a tech company together, would we?
No. I didn't have that on my bingo card for 2025.
No, it wasn't in my cracker. I didn't see anything in my cracker that said that. I had some crap crackers last year, but this was just...
Oh, they're all pretty crap at the moment.
I bought some wet ones this year. I'm hoping for kind of better things for 2026. Oh my God, get it right.
Yeah.
2026.
I don't think I'm going to go into 2026 with expectations, full stop.
I think you're right.
I've kind of learnt that, you can have these goals, but life throws you curveballs.
But we've learnt a lot though this year, haven't we? Really, kind of like from talking to drivers, to talking to local authorities, to talking to charging networks, to because like, I suppose maybe that's, people have been watching and listening for a while. There's been more about the charging side of things, because I suppose that's who we've been talking to, hasn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. It's been interesting, very interesting. And we were having this discussion before. I think things are more on the positive side now. Whereas if we'd had those conversations in 2024, they would have been pretty different.
There has been a bit of a change. I mean, it feels like there's been a bit of a Trump effect during the year, but overall it feels there's been a lot more positivity. And you call the Trump effect a specific colour?
Mr. Orange Man.
The Orange Man.
Yeah, do you remember the adverts? Like, you've been tangoed.
Yeah, well, he is a bit like that, isn't it? He's a bit of that colour. But yeah, I mean, overall, there's kind of been that level of positive change, even though it's funny. I don't know about you, it feels like people are hanging on with their fingernails going, please keep buying my stuff, and just throwing out negative stuff. But overall, we've kind of got more positive kind of thoughts coming from the sector.
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely. It's been nice. It's been refreshing.
It has been very refreshing. So shall we just talk a little bit about the kind of the way that we've, I don't know, where we've come to the point of setting up a little tech company. You know, maybe it's the way we've worked together for such a long time anyway. And poor lass, I'm going to say this to you because she keeps on herself. She's coughing. So you may, if you're watching, you may see her coughing in the background.
Yeah, I apologise.
No, you're poorly. That's cool. You know, we're doing this. It's just...
If we didn't do it now, it would never happen because we are so busy.
Exactly. You know, I suppose I'm very into business improvement. You know that I bang the business improvement drum, don't I? I've done it for a long time,
yeah.
And people don't always understand what it's all about. But when it comes down to it, we realised, didn't we, that there's a big thing around data in the sector.
They say, what is it? Data is king. Is that what they say?
Data is king.
Yeah.
Even in business improvement, it's king, because actually, if you don't have data, you can't prove anything.
You know, weirdly, in the paranormal sector, even, you know, we use things like that. We record stuff and take evidence of things. You know, even if it's like nothing happened, we then know that, you know, nothing happened there. It's all evidence, isn't it? And that's how you then make the basis of things. I think it's everywhere it exists. It's important.
And actually, but there's a few things, aren't there? And there's something that I think, and I know you earlier on you were saying you don't like people, but you recognise the need to kind of get people on board and listen to them.
Yeah.
We both do.
Yeah. I sound like such an arsehole when I say I don't like people.
No, don't.
Yeah. It's an autism thing, okay?
You say that, and I always tell you off for saying it anyway. Because I'm like, no, you don't. It's not that you don't like people; you just find it tiring.
No, I think anyone who has met me knows that I am a very friendly person. It's just that
an arsehole at all.
I'm not an arsehole, no. Well, I can sometimes be that's, you know, we're all human, but.
But if we go back to all the stuff that we've been doing, we work well together because we do challenge each other, don't we?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
You know,
some days it's more challenging than others, but I think anyone who works together on a long-term basis knows that.
Exactly, but it's coming together and kind of going, okay. What we were doing isn't kind of going down the way we were the way we were expecting it to go down, but actually, if we do it this way, and that's kind of where.
Yeah, I mean, we had to basically use your continuous improvement skills to re-change what we were doing because it wasn't working.
Yeah, and do you know what? In some ways, I think it was it wasn't the right time, you know. So
yeah, possibly.
Consultancy that we were doing, we were doing all right actually, but it gets to a point where you kind of go, is it kind of banging your head against a brick wall, you know, to try and get people to sort of to listen. So it's been a bit of a year of peaks and troughs, hasn't it?
Yeah,
really?
Definitely.
We've both kind of been on those peaks and troughs, and I've kind of thought, oh my God, what? And changed a few things because I was doing some other contracting work as well, and that's the other thing, because we're both neurodivergent. You end up putting in the, you know, you end up doing lots of different stuff. So I was working on some NHS improvement work with GPs than I had been since like 2022, you know. And I was also what we call an endpoint assessor for apprenticeships, for improvement apprenticeships. And those have kind of disappeared this year.
Yeah.
One was out of choice. Well, both of them really, just because it felt like I've got to concentrate on this, because you end up slicing yourself too thinly.
Yeah.
You know, and we have to be careful, even if you're neurodivergent or not. If you end up slicing yourself too thinly, and it gets to that stage where I think we both became a bit burnt out.
I think we experienced burnout probably worse than what a normal person would. Like, and I think
whatever normal is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that most like people, when they're in a work job or whatever, would be like, oh, I feel like it's time to take a day off, or I'll put in some holiday and I'll go to Spain or whatever. Whereas we are like, we don't actually have that concept in our head of like, take some time off. It's just boom, 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 until we've done what we said we were going to do. I mean, sometimes like we set ourselves at what we're going to do, and then we find about 20 million other things to do before we get to that to do.
Yeah.
But we will still get that to do done at some point, whether it be 6 years down the line or, 6 minutes. It will happen eventually. But we don't have, unless, I mean, I know personally that if I didn't have my husband here to tell me like to take a break, to have lunch, to have dinner, whatever, I just wouldn't do it, because I'd constantly be sat here until I'd done my to-do list. And done about 600 other things. But we don't have that, like, we're tired, we need to go to Spain for a week to recoup. It's
even when I did go to Spain to recoup, I was still doing stuff, and we were still driving. This is me and my husband. We're driving like, what was it now? About 300 miles a day between destinations. So yeah, we're always pushing ourselves.
Yeah,
aren't we?
I mean, we've had situations where I've literally texted you while you're on holiday to say, please put your laptop down.
Yeah, you have. I know.
I will message Rich and tell him to chuck your phone out the window.
Yeah, I do it to you now. I'm going like, you're now using your hobby on the weekends, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you actually?
I think, I did that when you had your operation, and I was like, I will tell James to come in there and take your phone and throw it out the window.
Yeah, you did. That was back in April, folks.
Yeah.
I had an operation on my Achilles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't supposed to be working.
I was meant to be making sure that Liz actually recovered from her operation. So
we do kind of work. We really complement one another in that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes when we're both kind of a bit frazzled, then it's like any kind of working relationship. It's not 100% all the time, but I think actually we are really, I mean, the age gap between us is just massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hilarious, really.
Yeah.
But it feels like it feels like you're my kid sister.
That you never wanted, but you got lumbered with.
I wasn't going to say that. No, because we just know each other. We know each other really well, don't we?
Yeah.
And actually, because there's times when I do say stuff to you and you're kind of like, I could tell you, like, James, my son, and I'm like, she won't listen to that. She's just shut
Liz knows when I shut down.
Shut up now.
Yeah, and I'm just, and you're like, you're not listening, are you? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, like, I know, because I
can't repeat the last 10 things you said, but yeah, I am listening. But I think it's because, like, when we started working together, I had my mum had gone into care, hadn't she? She hadn't actually passed away yet, but I lost my mum when I first started working with you, and you'd lost your parents, so you kind of helped me navigate through that. And then, like, moving, you helped me navigate through that change, and you've gone through like the operations and your diagnosis, and then I've gone through my diagnosis, and so I think we've done a lot of like learning ourselves about ourselves, but we've also learned a lot about each other and how we work, and like I know certain things, like when to approach you, or when you're having a bit of an off day, when I'm having a bit of an off day. So we've kind of also learned how to work differently because of that, because you can't be doing certain things when you're in that frame of mind as well. Because you're like literally pushing yourself against a brick wall and it's going to get worse. So like, I know for me personally that if I'm having a bad neuro spicy day, I will do things like create the podcast graphics, because I can do that without having to like put too much of my, it's not so much that I don't put my brain into it, because I obviously do, but it's like a processing thing, it's an automatic. So I know that I can just go into my little creative bubble, which I think I've probably done like since I was a kid. Like the minute I draw or do anything creative, I kind of shut myself off from the world. And I'm in that little zone. So that's what I do on my bad days. And I know that you do, you know, your own thing on your bad days as well. And we've kind of learned that do the work when you're in the right place to do the work, because if not, you're only like half-arsing it.
It's very true.
Yeah.
It's
important lesson to all people out there.
Yeah, and actually I would say that understanding our own neurodivergence, like you said, is really important, because there are lots more people who are neurodivergent than I ever thought. And I know I shouldn't, like my son was saying, yeah, but you can't go around just saying to everybody you're neurodivergent. I'm like, yeah, but I can't not see it. It's a bit like, you know, seeing something that you can't unsee. You can't not see it. And I don't just go around going, excuse me, tapping somebody on the shoulder, you're neurodivergent. Somebody's going to say, or be listening or watching this, going, yeah, you do.
Yeah,
I don't.
you literally said it to me the other day.
I don't mean to. You know, I suppose I've gone through the whole understanding what it is, and then coming out the other side to go, actually, we don't all need to be in these separate pots or boxes. It's just the way our brain works, and you've just got to be able to understand yourself a little bit, and look a bit inside and say, kind of like, so why do I? Oh, okay, so I've got an answer. I do that because of this, and it helps in some ways. Yes, we said it. You go through that kind of grief process, don't you? But out the other side, it in a way, it's quite validating.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, once you get over the, I don't know. I think I found what was worse is the lead up to it, because I think I even said to you, like, what if I have this diagnosis meeting, and they just tell me that I've made it all up in my head.
Yeah.
But I mean, luckily they didn't. Although when I did have my autism one, I said they were like, because they always ask you like how you feel about it and do you have any questions, and I said, oh well, I think I kind of knew, but I was also a little bit concerned you might tell me I'm crazy. And I actually had a psychiatrist who had a little bit of a sense of humour, because he went, oh yeah, sorry, we forgot to tell you that part. And I was like, I'm not even sure if that's funny or not. I was like, I just sat there for a minute. I was like, oh, hang on. What are you about to tell me now? But yeah, that was quite amusing. I was like, it's nice to have someone with a sense of humour. But yeah, I think I found that getting... But then there's like that weird anticipation beforehand. Then there's the actual them telling you it, because like you're having somebody actually say it out loud to you. That's the validating part, that you're kind of not gone through this whole process of waiting to then be told like, no, you just got like borderline personality disorder or something else. Which, you know, isn't a bad thing, because then you would know that you have something else. But for me, it was like, well, what if they just say I've just made it all up? And, you know, but then afterwards you go through that little grieving process of like, well, what could I have done? Like, could I have gone to university because somebody had told me, you know, that it's okay, I learn in a different way, or having somebody sat with me in lessons to make sure I like paid a bit more attention than staring out of the window. You know, all those different things. And even like your family dynamic as well. I know we've spoke about this quite a lot, is that like, yeah, parents, like I know for me, my parents just seemed to think that I was just naughty or playing up all the time, but it wasn't. It was more, that was how I saw that I could get attention. But they didn't kind of recognise that because it wasn't just discussed. Nobody mentioned it. Nobody thought that girls in the 80s could have had ADHD or whatever. So yeah, it's been a wild ride, but I think you're right in saying that you do get some validation, and that you also get a chance to like find out about yourself more, and you get to if you want to. Yeah, I mean, some people won't. They're just, you know, that is what it is. We can't force people to do it, but
exactly.
You know, we've done a lot of we've done a lot of healing around it. We've still got loads to do around it, but like your aspects of it aren't the same as my aspects of it, but in a weird way that kind of works because mine sort of complement yours, and you know, vice versa. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride.
It has, and I suppose I've not had an autism diagnosis as well, but Michelle knows that. So I did an autism qualification. This is another one of the things I did this year that people don't know about, really. I did an autism qualification this year, equivalent to a GCSE. I kind of signed up to it without realising how in-depth it was, and I was like, okay, I'll be working weekends on that one, which I was. And going through it, a lot of the overlap between autism and ADHD is just so, you just wouldn't believe it, you know. And I kind of looked at it and thought, oh my God, yeah, I've got traits of autism as well in here. You know, just getting that, having that understanding and making peace with it as well. You know, it's one of those things, kind of like learning a bit and kind of going, okay, do I want a diagnosis for it? Don't know, not sure. At the moment, I'm quite happy, you know, with that, with where I am. I understand it, and actually, it helps me to understand my family and the wider family, and you know, kind of friends and things like that. And yeah, it's a real learning curve, and I just think it's just interesting to find out about. And I may be doing some work with I am actually trustee of a neurodivergence charity as well. A chap up in Scotland has called Ian Kinney. He's set up a neurodivergence charity called Neuro AI Help, and I'm hoping to do some strategy or even some training work with a neurodivergence charity over in Cardiff in the new year, as well as all the other stuff. So yes. Just said, trying to not slice myself too thinly, but it'll go whichever direction it needs to go in. And
and I think that's what we've also learnt this year, is like what I was saying before, like we started the year with one idea and then it like went into something else, not having expectations around it. That the more you do this work on yourself and you like learn about things, you learn about other interests and you learn about your strengths and your weaknesses. So like your massive strength is helping people. And, you know, that's why you do the continuous improvement stuff. That's why you know, help. I mean, one thing I will say about you is you will help anyone, and probably to your own detriment sometimes. But that's who you are. That's, you know, no one can change that about you because that is who you are. You will just help anyone, and that's a great thing to be. Like, you know, I don't like people, so I don't help people. I do help people, yeah. I help the dead, basically, mainly most of the time.
And the living, the creative side.
Yeah, but I think that's why you go down these different avenues, is because it involves your main skill, which is helping people. Like, you can see that we always say it about you, is that you see things differently. Like, you see the bigger picture and you see things before they happen. And that is basically like with the AI neurodivergent thing, we both know because we use AI to help us with our neurodivergence. Because it is helpful for people like us, massively helpful. In fact, it's a game changer, because it's not that I don't know how to function without it, that would be wrong to say, but for me especially, there's certain things like I sometimes don't know how to read an email properly. Like I can't understand the sort of the context behind it. So sometimes I have to take that email and be like, what are they actually trying to tell me in this email? Like, are they being funny with me? Or, yeah, how do I then respond to this without me going down a neurodivergent tantrum? Or,
social cues, though, isn't it? That's recognising the social cues.
So it helps with things like that, because I could just, without that, I would probably like go off and cry for 10 minutes or,
it's
not respond to it.
Mean what how I'm interpreting this, because that's the thing about the written messages, isn't it? That you can interpret written things.
Yeah, because they don't have a tone behind them or a person, so it is hard. So AI does make things like that easier. And there's loads of other benefits that I could talk about with AI. But it is like anything, it's who uses it and why they're using it.
Very true.
With great power comes great responsibility and all that jazz.
Ooh, you.
I know.
Where's that from? No.
Yeah. Some superhero thing.
Yeah, definitely. But just kind of finishing off then, if, like you said, I think it's right. I think not to have too many kind of expectations, but being positive and seeing the kind of the sector as a kind of the EV charging and the EV sector, or kind of sustainability in future. It feels to me like more people are kind of getting on board with it and sort of recognizing that even if there is a bit of negative rhetoric coming from behind it, that actually they're seeing through what that crap is. Do you know what I mean? That actually who's actually saying it, and why are they saying it?
Yeah. There's a lot more like transparency around it, I think. And there's be more transparency coming in 2026, but you have to wait for that.
Well, there is definitely more transparency.
That's what I'm saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Can't wink. That probably looked really weird then, because I was trying to wink and I realised I can't wink.
I'll wink for you.
Yeah.
There's a wink there for you.
So listeners, the listeners will be grateful they didn't see that. People watching, I apologise.
And I look like I have something in my eye. But
no, I just looked like I was a bit nervous.
It's just a tick.
Yeah.
But no, this is why we've been working together for so long, and we just want people to be able to see what's really there, and the good things that are there, and that I want people to know that we care. Yeah.
Because I mean, we've had this discussion. I won't go into obviously like the details, but we've had this discussion recently about the problem with. It's not really a problem. The language that is used a lot is very negative, and people are always very quick to be on the negative about stuff. But I think if you come from a positive side, you could actually maybe solve more problems.
Yeah.
Because you've got that different approach. And I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to approach things differently.
Yeah.
And
rather than pointing fingers and going, you're crap, you're not good,
because
blah, 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 blah.
At the end of the day, what does that actually do other than make people feel bad?
Yeah.
The
same as us having that finger pointed at us and going, yeah, you don't really care, do you?
Yeah.
When actually we really, really, really do. So
yeah,
we are positive people, really.
We are,
aren't we? So actually flipping it and saying, do you know what? Let's just go with that positive aspect. We want to help people. We want to help transparency. We want to make things better.
Yeah.
We're creating a data platform to help do that.
Yeah. Leave it at that. But I will just say that also we are going to be using that in our marketing, because the marketing is a very there's always that thing with marketing, isn't there? The polarizing statements are the ones that really hook people in and get them. But yeah, that does work. But there is also different ways to do it where you can actually, like, you know, be positive and human. I actually went to it was last week, wasn't it, a webinar about the marketing trends for 2026. And they were basically, one of them was saying that people are going to be more wanting that human connection. We're already starting to kind of see it, but it is really going to be massive in 2026. So we will be bringing that to our new company.
And you will see us more on our socials, because we've been quite quiet lately, haven't we? But
we have, But we've been building foundations, haven't we?
And also partly because we've been on that tumultuous journey this year.
Yeah.
It's kind of been like riding the rapids.
If it was a ride at Disneyland, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it's really been up and down, hasn't it? But hopefully coming out the other side, you will. Well, definitely coming out the other side. I'm going to be positive here, because we're going to be positive.
You literally just said we're really positive people.
We are. No, but it's always that kind of inner critic that, you know, that's part of the neurodivergence.
It is.
The inner critic that comes out and goes, yes, but you can't sound like that because you sound too arrogant then. Do you know what I mean? It's
Rein it in.
Come on. But no, you will see some positive sides and positive messaging.
Yeah.
Because we want to help. And that's what it's about.
That is what it's about, yeah. Definitely. It's 2026 is definitely going to be more of a positive spin on things.
Well, but listen, thank you. I can't believe this is like, you know, this has been a really lovely kind of episode for me to have you and just the two of us talking like this. And I hope people have kind of now recognised that you're not behind the scenes anymore. You're not going to be behind the scenes, even if you say you don't like people, which is a right load of bullshit.
Literally, I can hear everyone that I've met at, like, the events and stuff be like, she was really nice, like, when I spoke to her. She was really chatty. She didn't shut up. What's she talking about?
Yeah, you just didn't see her when she went home and went, oh my God, I've spoken to so many people.
Yeah. Like not even finishing my dinner and being like, I'm just going to go to bed.
Exactly. And you've managed a whole episode with a dodgy voice and not feeling brilliant, but actually I think people have learned a hell of a lot about you during the episode.
Hopefully.
Probably a bit about me as well.
I mean, I am going to be posting more on LinkedIn next year, but I think that because I spend so much time obviously doing your social media, and because before it has been like you needing to be the voice of the company, now it's kind of the both of us being the voice of the company, that I'm going to have to speak up a little bit more.
You are.
I'm not sure everyone's ready for my opinions, but
I'm sure.
We'll see.
I'm sure they all manage it.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to, because...
They are.
Don't like it, just scroll on by. That's what I say.
Oh, well, listen, just on that note, I'm going to say thank you, darling. It's been brilliant to chat to you for our Christmas episode.
Yeah, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Feliz Navidad, and all that.
Hopefully everybody gets a chance to actually see it. So yes, Happy Christmas to everybody. And we haven't got a hat on, but Michelle's already got the socials with our hats on.
Yeah, we have hats on the socials. I'm not a hat person. I look weird in a hat. It's like dressing an egg up.
Oh my God, yeah, I look a bit like a pickled person, you know, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how some people pull off hats.
Some people look brilliant in hats. I just look because
Ron Godfrey, he always looks good in a hat, doesn't he? He's a hat person.
Amazing in a hat, doesn't he?
He's a hat person.
He is.
We love you, Ron.
Listening. We love you. Yes.
Anyway, we miss you, Ron.
We want to see you again, Ron. Right. On that note, I'm going to say to everybody, thank you for watching and listening. We both hope you have a really, really happy Christmas and a wonderful New Year.
Yeah.
Enjoy a little bit of R&R with whoever or wherever you are, you know, however you're doing it. And just, we will see you.
Read some ghost stories.
Find her on Shell's Spooky Stories. I will share the link in the show notes as well. You can have a check out of her spooky stuff.
The spooky stuff.
But please just subscribe to Electric Evolution. Have a look at us, and thank you very much for watching and listening. And we will see you very soon.
Like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell us what you're doing for Christmas.
She's there.
Are you going away? Tell us where you're going. Just put something in the comments.
Just do anything. Yeah, just tell us. That'd be great.
Yeah. Unless it's negative, don't do that.
No,
it's not nice.
Just keep negative stuff down. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
See
you.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching Electric Evolution with Liz Allan. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're a charge point operator, local authority or stakeholder in EV charging, I'd love to talk to you about our Charge Point Evolution framework. It's designed to help you create a seamless EV driver journey, boost utilisation and maximise your return on investment. Alternatively, if you know someone who'd be a great podcast guest or might be interested in sponsoring an episode, you can email me on liz@fullcircleci.co.uk. Thanks again for watching.